Hello and welcome to Take Two. This is going to be the after hours, the dark show, if you will. This is going to be a different one from Team One Take, where we normally talk about Honor of Kings. This one is going to be about everything but Honor of Kings. And
Mm.
now we have Dash. He's coming in on this one. It looks like Kindofu has decided to go his own ways. He wants to find other flavors of tofu, so we've decided to go on another path.
Mm.
But we've got Dash here. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great, but this is now called the Takeover podcast because I'm taking over for Kindofu. But everybody, I am really great right now, Holler. It's been really great. Right now is off season of Honor of Kings, so we need to talk about something else for now. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking that we need to kind of just I mean, it's a little bit of a lull, right? We
Mm.
will still go
Yeah.
back to the Honor of Kings topics once we get the appropriate seasons and then we're
Yeah.
able to kind of talk because we're in a bit of a lull,
Yeah.
right? So now is the time to kind of to take shop in terms of like, settle down a bit, see where we're at. But
Mm-hmm.
let's kind of talk a little bit about you, Dash, because
Ooh.
I mean we thrust you into the guest hot seat, if you will. And now let's talk a little bit about just you in general. Like, how did you get into esports to begin with?
Honestly, it's a long story for me because
Mm.
I started esports back when I was like, when did Dota came in? Like the one in Warcraft? It
Oh
was
gosh. Oh
Brother, it
gosh.
was 2007, 2008, is it?
Wow. Okay. You
Yeah,
played the original
I
from
played the
Warcraft.
original, like the 6.8. I
Wow.
think 6.18 is the first
Okay.
one that I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
played.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the longest esports memory that I had because as a kid, I we had a computer shop, like a net
Yep.
cafe. So
Mm-mm-mm.
I've been playing ever since that time, and
Wow.
even before that, I was playing PS1, SNES, the because
Uh,
my dad is a gamer, so I started
okay.
with games as I'm growing up.
Okay. What was actually, I mean, even before Dota, which is probably one of the more complex ones that you played, and I'm sure you were
Yeah,
much older, but
yeah.
like let's go all the way back in terms of
Okay.
like what is the first memory of the first game that you played? Let's start from there.
Ooh, man. Okay, the first memory that I have is waking up that I remember actually
Mhm, mhm,
waking
mhm.
up and playing Donkey Kong Country.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's Super NES.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know, I see.
You were from that era, right?
Yes, yes. Thanks, thanks. Yes,
Yeah,
I was
yeah. But
yeah,
I love playing
classic.
that game when I was a kid. I
Mm,
don't know why. I don't even remember. I just remember just jumping with Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong every
mhm,
time I
mhm.
am playing that game. It was a very fun memory that I have because that's also the first time that I spoke. I spoke straight, like not
Uh,
blurting out random words. That I just had this opening in my mind that I now have to speak straight and not speak like a baby at 4 years
from
old.
really, from Donkey Kong, that was the
Yeah.
okay. So, basically, you got your casting voice via Donkey Kong?
Yeah,
Am I
thank
hearing
you,
this
Donkey
right?
Kong. Yeah, thank you very much, Donkey Kong. That's how it
Ok
started. But how about you? I'm
okay.
curious about you too. What is your first? Because I know you're much older than me. Not
Yeah,
that
yeah,
much
yeah, yeah.
older, but
Yeah, I'm definitely older.
okay,
Let me be
sorry,
very
sorry.
honest. We don't need to age ourselves on this
Okay,
one,
okay,
but,
okay.
for me, it was Pac-Man. I played the original Pac-Man.
That's fair.
We had
That
an
is
Atari.
way older.
It was way older, and
Yeah,
it was like a joystick with, like, a button,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
my older sister was better than me at Pac-Man, right? And that
What?
was the start of me being just terrible at games, but the drive and to the willingness to learn them was from that moment because once I knew that someone was better than me, I was like, "I have to beat them," right?
That is when you started becoming competitive.
Yeah, yeah, I very
Okay,
young, right?
okay.
And,
Pac-Man.
yeah,
You're trying to beat
yeah,
her
Pac-Man
highest score?
beat the highest score. She could always get further than me, and she
Oh,
would always
brother.
be, like, just she was very good at games, and then that was,
Yeah.
like, the big motivator, and that's why I needed to play more, but I mean, once we got, like, a Nintendo, I remember that from Christmas, got
Mm.
the original Mario with, like, the Duck Hunt,
Oh
and
yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah.
basically, she didn't play as much from then on, so that's I'm
Ooh.
clearly better than her now,
You're way better than her now by
of course,
default because she
by
doesn't play
default.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
That feels bad. I feel, but I want to know how it transitioned from there because, uh, sorry for everybody watching.
Mhm,
This is
mhm.
also a first time for us talking about this for
Yeah,
me and Holler
yeah.
because,
Mm.
this is the first time that I'm actually getting to know him because we always talk with the mic casting, but we also want to know how we started with gaming.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's funny because like normally we would only talk if we were getting paid to be there,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. And
Because
now,
it was in a professional setting, we was casting together, right? We were
yeah,
forced to be talking to one another, and now it's like the first time where we don't. So it's like,
yeah,
oh, it's awkward now. Like, what do we do? Like, should I
yeah.
be getting paid? I think I should be, but we are here, and
Right.
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it's good to kind of dive deep, right? I mean, you've also got with Donkey Kong. Let's continue on with that story, right?
Mm.
Because you clearly gamed, you got into Dota and all those things, but what was like I mean, was Dota like that first competitive esports that you got into?
I think if mm, just early on in my memory, if
Mm,
Gunbound, if you know Gunbound, you don't
okay.
know. Okay,
I
if Gunbound was a competitive game, that was also one of my first games that I played that I love. I also played. If Ragnarok is also a competitive game, yeah, sure,
okay,
but it's not. So
okay.
I'm gonna go with Dota as my first competitive game because I played a lot of Dota, and people were saying I was good at it. But I don't
S Oh,
looking at it now, I remember being ass at the game because
okay.
because
Uh,
the level, the floor of being good back then was very low. So
yep, yep,
right now,
yep.
just looking at it, I'm so bad at the game compared to the
Uh,
standards right now.
I mean, right now is completely different story, right?
Yeah.
It's the people that have been invested in, they're playing like 12, 14-hour days, right?
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to kind of compete with those people. But playing the original Dota and at that stage where people don't even understand the rules, they don't understand really what you need, like the mechanics of
Yeah.
it, right? They
Yeah.
haven't broken it down. So people are kind of figuring things out on the fly. And then you're also doing that against, like technically nine other people, right? Because you have your teammates,
Yeah.
but they might not know all of the mechanics and things behind it. Like
Yeah.
what actually makes the wheel turn, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I think that that would have been an interesting time to play.
Yeah, honestly, it was a very good time to play because in the Philippines we also have a lot of net cafes back then,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
also have our own very own net cafe right here. And I
Hmm.
play with the kids there. We were playing, we were
Okay.
just doing
Oh,
5v5s all of the time. Whoever goes in, we have this 5v5s every time, and it's honestly very fun to have
of
those times.
course.
I look at it and it's very fun memories that I have for it. But uh, for you, did you have something like that? Because I know you're a well-traveled person, so I want to know how you did that too.
No, so I mean, I grew up in the States, right?
Mm,
And there were really no PC cafes at that time. But when I went to Korea, I had my first day because I was there for like a summer.
yeah.
And then that was when StarCraft was a big thing. And so
Ooh,
everybody would want to go to the cyber cafes and to just play,
yeah,
right? So we would just like, 2-on-2, whatever it is. And
yeah,
we would just constantly play from that. So that's kind of what built it. And that was my first exposure into these types of communities.
yeah, yeah.
And you can see why Korea was so good at StarCraft because when you go home, you're done with school and you're playing with one another,
Mm,
it just helps you get better because you want to beat the other person. It's
yeah,
like that old school like arcade type of community.
yeah. We talked about this when you were here in the Philippines, though. I was curious about the how the state of things are in Korea when it comes to the bang culture, right? It's
Hmm.
bang, and
PC Bang. Mhm.
yeah, that is something that I want to understand before because I was like, Korea is so good at League of Legends. How are they so good at League of Legends? I always wanted to know that, and you having that experience, I think this is a good time to talk about it. How was the culture of bang there?
So, if I'm gonna be completely honest,
Yeah.
mainly when I was there, summer like 2000, it
Mm,
was mainly StarCraft, CS at that time.
yeah.
Those are like the main two that we played. I think that League of Legends was kind of not a thing
Not
then.
not
It was
yet.
too early,
Yeah.
right? But the fact that okay, fast forward to a
Mm,
much later time. I
yeah.
remember going there because I had to print something out. So I went, it was like 2:30 or something like that. It was empty. I was the only dude because
Okay.
I had to print something out. And by the time I finished printing out like 10 or so pages of what I needed to do, I look up and the cyber cafe is completely packed, right?
Ooh,
And
okay.
at that moment, they were playing PUBG.
Oh, what?
Right. So this is a
There
later time past
okay,
the League
yeah.
of Legends, but there were
Yeah.
still students that were coming in, and this was like a normal thing. It was completely packed, and there was like 50 computers. It was insane, and everybody starts yelling, and I'm like, "What just happened?" Right? I hit print, and literally 49 kids popped up, and they like took all the computers, and they're playing this battle royale. So like it kind of built into that where this is the norm. Like you're constantly going to the extracurriculars, and you do all
Mm,
these things, and you might have time to play And after school, this is a completely normal thing. And that's why it's built like this community.
Yeah, I honestly love that. We have the same thing here in the
Mm,
Philippines, but
that's
sometimes
cool.
it's way smaller scale, like 20 PCs to 50 PCs at there's a cafe that we always go to back when I was in college. It's called Tambayan. And also there's a Mineski cafe back in the
Uh,
day,
uh,
back then.
uh.
And we always go there and there's like 50 people. Like after the classes, I go there or sometimes even at 2:30 middle of the afternoon. I have a class at 4 p.m. I'm going to play one game of League of Legends, then I go back to class after. And it's always
Mhm.
packed. I don't know
Yeah.
why it's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
packed, but it always felt like a community. Like we don't talk. All of the people
Right.
there, we don't talk, but
Right.
it always feels like, hey, this guy is here. Hey, this guy is here again. He's playing
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
He's losing. He's challenger. Something like that. It always felt so nice. Like I wanted to talk to some of the people there, but they're introverts. So, so
Of course. Of
yeah.
course. Yeah. It's you get an interesting set of people there,
Yeah.
right? Because I remember, especially in that summer, and it was
Mhm.
like drunken nights. Like the age to drinking was much lower in Korea, and they don't really
Okay.
check or anything like that. And
Okay.
so when you're done, and sometimes the dormitories would close right at like
Okay.
9
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you would have to stay out the night. And instead of get like a hotel room, like who can afford that? Who can go to like these things? You would go to the cyber cafe because they're open 24 hours and you would pay less than $1, an hour.
Yeah.
So that you would just like literally sleep on the computer. And you would be there even at like 2 or 3 in the morning and
Yeah.
you would see other people there. Like you're like, what are these guys doing? Like they're like they're
Yeah.
literally playing. They're like addicts.
I'll be honest with you, that was also I hope my mom doesn't see this, but that is also some of the times that I was in the cafe. I also was one of those people. Like in college,
Oh,
I stayed there like 12 p.m. The shop itself would actually close because there's
oh,
like a curfew for the shops, for the computer
okay.
internet cafes. But they closed the doors and we're left there and we cannot go out and we just have to play. Those became my friends. The people that were there
Yeah.
became my friends, and sometime in the
Mm,
future
mm,
became my teammates when I was competing,
cool.
which is insane because that is like later in my
Yeah.
college days
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
was like third year in college when I started doing that.
So you're talking about competing. What games were you actually competing in?
League of Legends. I was competing
League
for
of
League of
Legends.
Legends back in the day. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Like,
so what role were you? What was your favorite champion?
oh,
And
okay.
then like how far did you go in terms of this like competitive scene?
Okay, so we're in college, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah.
in college, right? So some of the players that I played there, they became pro players, like
Mm.
in the Philippines. And some of them
Wow.
became my collegiate teammates. That is
Mm.
what happened. I honestly just went to collegiate. My favorite hero when I was in top lane was Nar and Jax,
Oh.
both of them. And
Okay.
and at some point in the future, it became Rumble and Singe.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know
All
why.
right.
Yeah.
For the record, okay, okay. Just following up. Like when you competed though, did you win any money? Did you get
Oh,
like top 10, top 5? Like what was the level?
okay. For our province, because back then I think the collegiate scene was still developing. So most of
Uh-uh.
the time it's like south. Because I was studying at UP Los Baños, which is in the southern part of the where you were
Uh-uh.
staying, southern
Yep.
southern more. So we were in a province basically when we were
Mm.
doing that. And in South Luzon, we were the best team. we were we were
Oh,
the best team that was
cool.
there. And honestly, we had nobody to scrim on that place anymore because we were the best. And we had to
Oh.
scrim with people from Manila because
Okay. Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah, yeah.
players are better compared to
Yeah.
everybody in Southern Luzon.
Yeah.
And at one point in our careers, we weren't able to get top 1. We were just able to get like top 4
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
during our times, but we were good. I think during that time we were really good. Back then, I did 2 roles. I was a top lane at first, then as I developed, I became older, I became the support player.
Okay, okay. That
Yeah.
explains things. Right.
Yeah.
So as you're kind of I mean, you were good, which is great, but the team, if you're not getting those results, I would say that most of the guys are kind of like, okay, let's give up. And then it kind of like
Yeah.
snowballs and it kind of deteriorates a bit. Like, walk me through some of that because I mean, all these teams, unless you're hitting it big, you're gonna have this moment, right, where
Yeah.
things kind of fall apart. Like, walk me through that.
Yeah, I think things felt apart when I also stopped going to the university itself because
Mm,
2018 was that time in where the team is starting to fall apart because some of us weren't able to compete anymore because we're so busy with school and we have to get our grades up there. And because it's in the University of the Philippines, we also have like a maintaining grade that we have to go for. And sometimes because one of our best players, a Korean guy, he
uh-huh.
had to focus on studying. He was our mid laner. He was our faker back then.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and for
Was
some
he good?
reason, he was so good, brother. He was so good. And
Mhm.
he is also he's a Korean who speaks Filipino, and you know what? The words that he knows at first was, the swears. But
Of
as
course.
we go on, he actually was fluent in Filipino.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah,
Okay.
shout out to my friend Eminem. That's what he calls himself, Eminem. Shout out to him. I hope he
Nice,
hears this. And
nice.
also, very thankful to our captain back in the day.
Uh-huh.
His name is Line. He was the reason why we kept going. He was the reason why
Yeah.
we
Nice.
were sticking together. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why he was able to keep us going until the end part in where he graduated, and then
Mm.
everything fell apart after that.
Okay. That's actually very interesting because those are the people that like you're very thankful for later. Because
Mm,
how many times have you played a game where you lose once and everything is like, okay, I don't want to play this guy again,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
for the fact that this guy is just like, hey, let's continue to push, let's continue to be that. He's like
yeah,
that gel guy, right? The
yeah,
ultimate team guy that's continue to push you to guys. Every team needs something like that, and so
yeah.
I think that again, a shout out to I think you said his name is Sline.
Yeah, Slime. Yeah,
Sline, cool, awesome,
yeah,
man, good for him.
yeah. But I want to know about you though. How were
Mm.
you able to continue with esports? Were you able to continue with esports? What were you playing back in the day? I want to know what role you played because right now you're playing roamer, right? But
Yeah,
back in the day, I want to know. Yeah.
okay, so to kind of fast forward things, I played StarCraft and there was no competitive scene. There was no esports at the time,
Ooh, okay,
right?
yeah.
Everything had been developed later. And it was like a fantasy of mine to be like, to be play at like a pro level and to have like
Ooh,
a tournaments and all these things. It was just it was not a thing, right?
yeah.
I think once though I got to Korea because I was visiting in that year of 2000, again, it was like this eye-opening one because I saw StarCraft on TV and I was like,
Oh
this is
yeah, the
possible.
first time. Yeah, yeah, the first time.
First time. And
Yeah,
that was when I was like, okay, this can happen, right? These type of, tournaments it's incredibly fun to watch. The casters are actually very amazing. Like they're very passionate, all the good things that you would want from an esport. And that was like, okay, if this ever comes to the West, I'm in, right?
okay, yeah.
But my life never really was in that situation. I was never on a pro team. I was never, good enough or whatever. And
Mm,
so when I started to work full time, everything was kind of put on the back burner because again,
okay.
I'm too old at that point. I was just looking at my, like full-time job, but I
Yeah,
would always watch esports and I started to play Dota 2 when it came out.
okay.
And I played in like a five-man stack and we took it pretty seriously. And there was actually some other good people on this. Um, yeah, that would just kind of like we just met each other and it was through Reddit and we had like a five-man
What?
stack and we would practice
Through
like every
Reddit?
other like no joke. Yeah. Like looking for team and
Okay.
I was like the worst guy. I was the support. But I was kind of like that gel guy,
Position
like
5. You're
Slime,
position 5,
right?
right? Yeah.
A position 5 and
Yeah.
I would kind of get the team. I would look for new guys. I would be the recruiter.
That's
I would
cool.
make sure that we showed up. I would do whatever we needed to do because again, it was all about, the team. And so we
Okay.
took it seriously.
When was that? Like, you started, as you said, during the start of Dota 2. What year was that? 2013?
Oh my
2014?
gosh. Oh my
Was
gosh.
the time that you
Dota
were
2. I
there?
played it for years, man, leading up to it. When did this get released? I don't even
I
know. But
remember it
once
getting released when I was in college. Like, specifically, when I went to college, Dota 2 became a thing. Like, they were
yeah,
trying
so
to go toe to toe with League of Legends.
2013.
13. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so
That was
that
a,
was
that was a long time.
it was a long time
And you
ago.
were in your
Long
job
time
for
ago.
how long before you got
So I
into the
was
thing?
100 like I was and it's funny cuz I just like I saw what was it? What is that documentary
For what now?
for
For
Dota?
esports? For
For Dota
Dota?
2?
I
Yeah, there
forgot
was a
about that
documentary.
documentary. Yeah, yeah, there
Free to
was a
play,
doc.
free to play.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I saw that. And then that was the moment I was like, "Okay, I wanna learn this game." right?
Ah, that's
And
cool.
I didn't know anything about this game, right? I played
Okay.
Warcraft 3. And I remember giving Dota a shot
Yeah.
then, but I never liked it because I was just like, I'd rather just play Warcraft 3. Like, why do I want to play with
Yeah.
four other dudes that are
You
just
were
gonna like,
really an RTS person if that's the case.
I was, yeah, yeah. That
You
was
played
it was
Battle
RTS or bust.
Realms? Battle Realms, like Red Alert. Have you played
Oh
those
yeah,
games?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I played Red
Okay.
Alert.
But you were
I gave him a
more
chance.
Warcraft and Starcraft.
Yeah, because I was Korean, right? So no
I don't know if
choice
that's
in
the
that
right thing to
sense.
say, but okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I know that even back then, I know that the Koreans were really good at StarCraft. That is also my opening for esports is when I was watching StarCraft and I was like, I can't do this with my games. How are they controlling all the units individually? And that is
Mhm.
something that came as a surprise to me. And honestly, we all started at almost at the same place because we all saw a StarCraft esport at one point in our lives.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, so that was like the big moment. And because I had been so ingrained into Dota and
Mm,
having those 5 minutes, like that gave me the experience to like
yeah.
learn from other people. And they were all much better than I.
Yeah.
And then in like 2018, there was like a
18.
casting call
Oh,
for
yeah.
literally casters because they were
Okay.
doing a Dota 2 league. And I was like, I always wanted to be like a commentator, like a sports commentator, if anything,
Ooh.
because there was no esports. And
Okay.
that was kind of what drove me into this area. And I just got lucky. I was able to speak decently on camera, and then it was kind of like the start of everything.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
it, it came as a dream, right? That a
Yeah.
dream that you were able, at least at that point in time, like 2018, 2016,
Mhm.
this thing, esports wasn't something that uh could be made as a career at that point. And
True.
I
Yeah.
was surprised that 2016 was when the time that casters became a thing here in the Philippines. Like 2016? Is it 2016 or earlier than that? Because I know
Mhm, mhm.
Shinbu and Manjin were already casting during those times. I was still in college when they were casting.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. So for you, I'm assuming because you talked about the League of Legends thing,
Yeah.
like you did events. I knew that you were a wild riftcaster ahead of time, right? But
Yeah.
walk me through how you got into casting as well.
Brother, you know what? I didn't even know. It wasn't even in my list to check that I was gonna become a caster. What I wanted to be was a player. Starting
Of course. Of
honestly,
course.
that is what I wanted to be. But as I
Mhm,
became
mhm.
older and I watched this, uh, I read this manhwa called King's Avatar.
Ah. Mm, mm.
They said that there was like a, what do you call this? A deadline for
Okay.
players, and I was like, brother, I'm way past the deadline, and I can't even. And I didn't. I wasn't able to do anything, brother. And I was like, what else can I do? So back in 2016, or was it 2018? 2018, when I
Mm,
stopped competing, I had this friend that I met through collegiate, like our rival team in South Luzon. He was like, "Hey, do you want to become a caster? Do you want to do this?"
mhm.
He the last Garena shoutcasting training was with me before
Oh.
Garena just poofed out in the
Yep.
Philippines. It was
Yep.
me and him that was doing the training. And that's when
Oh.
I started. 2018, then there was a big lull before the pandemic because Garena was not there anymore, so opportunities were not there. So
Mhm.
2020 is when I started picking it up again. When the collegiate scene picked me up and they were like, "Hey, I saw you training during the Garena caster training. You should try." And I was so bad at casting, brother. They took me out after the first day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so walk me through. Okay, what was was it a solo cast? Were you with somebody?
I
Like
was with
walk me
somebody.
through what okay, do you know is it okay to say who it is?
I
Was it
forgot.
bad on
I
both ends?
actually forgot at
Okay.
this
Okay,
point.
that's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So what was so bad about it though?
I was so bad at casting because during the caster training 2018, because I was a player, I was seeing a lot of things. When I was
Mm,
watching games,
mm,
I see this being thrown, I see this being thrown, but I don't know
mhm.
what to prioritize during those times. So I stumble upon my words
Oh,
whenever I see the plays happening because I want to say everything that I see. But I can't
okay.
do that though. That's not something you could naturally do. That's why during those times I stumbled a lot. I was struggling with pick and bans. I don't know what to say. During those times, I hated drafting so much because I don't know what to say during drafting because I don't really
Interesting.
understand how to compare and contrast
Mm,
the drafts.
mm. Okay. Okay. So I guess how did you like you don't have that issue anymore. So
Yeah.
how did you overcome that? Like what did you do?
Honestly, what I did was not really because of me, because of grinding so much with
Mm.
casting. Because after that, they took me again at the end of the year. They-
Uh, uh, uh.
I was doing better that time.
Okay.
But 2021 was when I started constantly casting. I met this shout out to KJC Esports. I met this uh person. I saw an ad about looking for trainee casters, something like that. I
Mm,
applied. Fast
mm,
forward, when I got accepted to their casting thing, they were casting scrims of Valorant. They were the ones posting scrims for SEA teams. And
mm.
every time that there's an SEA team that is going to be going for those scrims, we're going to live stream it. And there are some casters doing it. So it was me with some friends doing that. So what happened was for 1.5 year or 2 years, I was casting Valorant 2 to 3 times a week, every
Oh,
week.
Valorant.
Yeah, yeah. And that helped me
Oh.
build myself as this.
Yeah,
This right
yeah.
now, yeah.
So when you're doing okay, did you do it in Tagalog or was it in English?
English,
First question.
English,
English.
English. Yeah.
Second one were you like a play-by-play or color analyst? Like what were you at the time?
Yeah, on it during the start, I was already a play-by-play. I think I started as a play-by-play even back then because I always think that
Mm.
I'm dumb. And I can't do color casting because I think I'm dumb.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing the play-by-play. But also during
Mm.
those times, it was first time I was casting for KJC Esports. I was brother, I don't know how to speak in English well. Because I
So
know I can
yeah.
understand English, but
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I wasn't as I'm not good, but I'm not as good as I am right now with English. I was a Tagalog caster starting from there.
So how did you overcome that? How did you transition? Because that's not easy.
It was not an easy time. It was
For
not an
sure.
easy time. Yeah, I was forcing myself to speak in English. I was stumbling a lot because I'm thinking in Filipino
Yeah, 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 yeah.
every
And you're
time.
translating, right?
And I'm
You're computing.
translating. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was doing that a lot, but after like a few months, I was so bad at it. I was so bad at it. Honestly, that's how we all start, right? I was so bad at it that I didn't even know how I started picking it up. And English became my main way of thinking right now. Now, when I'm casting in Filipino, I'm translating. I'm translating
Oh,
in
you're
English.
going the other
Yeah,
way.
I'm going the other way right now. It's,
Wow.
yeah.
So, okay, it happens like if you're in the whatchamacallit, if you're like in another country, I get it. Because that, you know what I mean? Like you would kind of move on or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or you would like adapt.
Yeah.
But in your case, did you live outside of the Philippines? Like what was
No.
that tipping? I mean,
No, I wasn't really
hmm,
living outside the Philippines. I was here the whole time. I'm staying at the same place since I was a kid. I was here with,
interesting.
yeah, and I only got better at it by
Hmm.
just ever since I was in college, I was reading manhwas. I mean, it's bad translation some of the time. And
Yeah,
every
yeah, yeah.
time I'm in a lull, I'm just gonna be
Hmm.
reading it. And I slowly just picked up on just English and English and English. I'm watching a lot of series on English and all of that. And I don't know if it helped me, but honestly, the casting every week 3 times helped me more than anything.
All right, was it the manhwa or the hentai? I'm
It's
just
the
kidding.
manhwa,
I'm just
not the
kidding.
hentai, brother. It's not the hentai.
Okay, okay, okay. I
If
just
it's the
got to
hentai,
clarify on that.
if it's the hentai, I'm not gonna read anything. Why would I
Oh,
read?
okay. Well, I mean, whatever
Huh?
helps you learn, my friend. So, but okay. Another thing is
Yeah.
that I've noticed is that your accent
Yeah.
is not as I mean, it's more neutral, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why is that? Especially since I mean, it's usually you kind of pick that up based on who you're around, all of that, like you know what
Yeah.
I mean, like teachers TV or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like, what was that? What helped you?
Oh, honestly, yeah. it's more than that. Like when I was
Mm.
casting, I was with this stack that we had for KJC Esports. Everybody
Mhm.
had a neutral accent. It was Gen,
Oh.
it was Gast, it was Tatum, and me. So four of
Mhm.
us were casting.
Mhm,
All of them had neutral accents. I had the Filipino accent back, like very hard Filipino
mhm.
accent compared to everybody else. And
Got it.
I had this insecurity with my accent and my voice back then that I had to I had to find a way to change it while I was practicing. So
Right,
during those
right.
times, I was actively changing my accent, actively changing my voice
Wow.
whenever I talk. Because man, when you talk like when I talk like this every time, this is my normal voice. And I don't know how I did it, how I transitioned. It became like a muscle memory at that point that every time I cast, this is the accent I'm gonna use.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it it's a conscious thing where you have to, like, think about it when you're
Now,
doing it,
N
or
now not anymore. Back then, I
okay,
was thinking about it every time.
interesting. So,
Yeah.
okay, I wanna kinda circle back on the fact that English is now the primary language in the brain, because
Yeah.
as somebody who's tried to learn multiple languages and has failed on every single level,
Mm.
thanks Duolingo for not
Thank you
helping.
so much, Duolingo.
But like, like, how did you do that? Like, because that's not easy to do.
It's because it's more on the Filipino thing, right? We study English ever since. Like,
True.
ever since we were kids. So it was
Yeah.
easy to pick up. And also, most of the media that is shown here, if it's not in Filipino, it's gonna be in English. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe I flipped a switch somewhere in my brain that
Okay.
because I already was watching a lot of English cartoons back in the day, I just had to flip the switch somehow. Right
Okay.
now, I think
Mm,
even some of
mm.
the Filipino casters knows that sometimes when I stumble, I was translating. I was
Ah.
translating English to
Ah.
Filipino, and they also know some of the words I'm using are
Uh-huh.
like crutches in English that I
Yeah.
kind of use it in
Yeah.
Filipino. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I want to know you
So,
though, from your side. Do you have any bad experiences on your first cast?
first cast?
Yeah. Were you taken
Okay.
out of the roster? Like
No,
okay,
no.
okay.
Actually, I was super lucky,
Ooh,
right?
okay.
Because I felt okay. My one of my strengths is that I'm really good at just framing questions,
Oh
right? To
yeah,
just
you
kind of
are.
drive a
You
conversation
are.
of just kind of pushing things along, right? And that really helped me because if there's like things that I don't know what to say, I'll ask a question, right?
Oh.
It's like a trick,
Oh.
right? And that has kind of helped me because it puts the onus on them and it drives a more engaging conversation,
Yeah.
and then we're able to kind of push forward. So it seems like we're having, like, even right now,
Mm.
I might not know 100% what I'm going to say next, but I know that if I'm asking questions, we're going to kind of constantly push this ball back and forth,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And it's going to be more engaging, all of these things. So that it really helped me.
Oh
So
yeah.
anytime I struggled, and there were definitely slow moments and like, what are you doing that? And
Yeah.
you're tired and all those other factors. But I never really had a bad one until I was with somebody, and this is not my first cast.
Okay.
He was struggling to talk because he was spiraling from comments that were very negative about him,
Ooh.
and his confidence just completely shattered. He wasn't able to bounce, and our cast was one of the worst ones because of that, right? Because
Ooh.
like
Okay.
it's enough for me to be like, hey, to do play by play and to hype and all these things, but if the other guy's like literally like a dead fish, you're gonna struggle.
Ooh, yeah. That is gonna be
Mm.
hard. Did he I don't want to talk about the person as much because uh did they shut down during that time?
They
Like,
shut down. They shut down.
oh man, that is gonna be hard, especially
Yeah,
you both need to drive the conversation.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
What
So
game was it?
it was
Can you say it? No.
no, because it arrows this person if I say it, because it
Okay,
was
okay.
not
Never mind then.
multiple times that did that cast with that game. I'll tell you off stream,
Okay, yeah, yeah. Just tell me off
but
stream.
it was a thing where he would say one thing and then it would be like negative. He's like, "Ah, does this guy know anything?" And then he would like spiral,
Yeah,
and then all the comments are like, "Oh, he's not bouncing. He's not responding. He's
yeah,
not like, the guy in the other, like, not the hat, but the other guy is like trying to get him to go or whatever." And like they
yeah,
were kind of seeing what I was doing in terms of trying to like push it a little bit to help this cast,
yeah.
and it got in his head, man.
Oh
And by
no.
the end of it, he was just like, "I don't want to cast again." Like he told me that.
Oh, what?
It was like that level.
This is
Yeah.
why, honestly,
Yeah.
I really took off that a part in my brain that reading comments.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
honestly, reading
Yeah.
comments is just gonna pull you down. You're
Yeah.
you're not gonna
Yeah.
have a great day because
Yeah.
you can't please everybody. So might as well
Exactly.
just focus on what you're doing.
Right. Right.
Oh.
And actually, that's a huge factor because the only thing that happens in those comments is if they want to be negative. I've
Yeah,
never been like, oh,
this guy's
Holler or
good.
Dash have been amazing. I
Yeah,
mean, there have been like this, like, oh, that was funny, or that was an entertaining. Like, they'll
yeah,
sometimes those will happen. But generally speaking, they're only going to comment on you unless they want to go negative.
yeah, yeah. And from what I've seen so far,
Mm,
the biggest win that casters could have on a comment section is if they're talking about the game. If they're talking about the game, you're winning because they think
mm,
the cast
true.
is good and it's flowing that they
Yeah.
don't have to point
Yeah.
things out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's a huge factor, right? And
Yeah.
also, like, we can nerd out on casts all the time,
Yeah.
right? We could get super technical. We can talk about item break, like things as they're happening, all of that stuff. But I think that like you and I do a good job when we cast
Yeah.
because we balance that with what makes an
Humor.
entertaining show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and humor is definitely a factor because like I'm not here to lecture you on this game, right? That's not what
Yeah.
I'm there for, right?
That's true. Honestly, the one of the things that I learned from you more than anything, and also some of the casters that I've been with, is learning how to pop the personality because anybody could talk
Hmm.
about the game.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Hmm.
usually when I started casting, that is something that I never understood how to be
Hmm.
more personable, how to talk about yourself, how to build a brand because I
Yeah.
just am a nerd about the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was hard. It was hard at first. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. And it's weird because I kind of look at myself as an introvert, right?
Wait, really?
And so when you're seeing me, yeah, as weird as it is,
Nah, I don't believe you,
off
bro.
stream, yeah, the people that really know me
Yeah.
know that I'm, this is something that like I might cast, I might stream, whatever.
Yeah.
But after I need like just like nap time. You
Interesting.
know what I mean? Like I need a
Interesting.
recharge kind of thing. So
That is a new thing
um
I learned for that is a
yeah,
new thing I
yeah.
learned for you, at least.
Yeah, yeah. I need my moments, right? And
Mm.
I think that as you know me better, I think that you'll kind of see that as well. So
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable with it. Obviously, sometimes like people don't think that because I'm like, oh, why he's an asshole? Like he can't be like introverts can be assholes. Let me be very honest.
Yeah, especially when they're talking about something they really like, right? And
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
this is great. At least I know that you're also an introvert. We can do
Mhm,
okay, I thought ever since that I met you, ever since that I talked to you in casting, I thought you were
mhm.
the extrovert among the English casters because of
Wow.
how you talk about things and also how you become more personable compared to me, for example, because I'm ever since when I started casting English for Honor of Kings, I think
Mm,
Holler is very personable, has a lot of personality. And that's insane for me because man, how will I do it? Sometimes I get overwhelmed, but you made it easier, man, when I was casting
mm.
with you.
I mean, that's the biggest thing that I love to do is that if we're gonna have a good show, I got to make whoever I'm with shine. Like
Yeah,
that's my big thing,
yeah.
right? I want you to shine so that it makes a better show more than anything else.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
dude, when we get competitive and like I don't let you talk and I
Yeah.
continue to talk and interrupt you, it's gonna be the worst show.
Yeah, honestly, that is one thing that I appreciate with the desk that we have is even in the Filipino, the English desk that
Mm.
I have is everybody sometimes is afraid of the mic in a way because we always
Oh,
like throw the mic to the other person like after one thing that
interesting.
we and that's a good thing. Honestly, I
Uh-huh,
love
uh-huh.
that because one person doesn't talk to the mic for a long time and that makes for a conversation because you could
Mhm, mhm.
bounce off of each other and that is something that is very good when I'm casting with you guys. But also,
Oh, with
uh,
us as
yeah,
opposed to okay. Oh,
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. When I'm
Okay.
casting with you guys. And also, I want to know, because this is something that is there something like somebody said to you when you were, for example, asking for feedback for somebody? I don't know if we can say this on the show, but I'm just
Mm-mm.
pushing the boundaries that we can do
It's
with the
cool. It's
show.
cool.
Any feedback that you think is maybe they were kind of complimenting you in a way, but you thought of it as not as a compliment
Good question.
Because I have one. Should I
Okay,
start?
okay, please.
Okay, here, this one. This is the reason why I started doing the voice and the accent. Because when I
Okay.
casted with somebody, uh, they told me that I had a unique voice.
You do.
And you know what? Until now, it's still in my brain. Like, I have a unique voice, and I
Mhm.
thought of it as something negative. Like,
Ah.
yeah, I thought of it as something
Yeah.
negative. Like, why will he say that I have a unique voice? Like, is that a good thing? Unique is a very 50-50 thing. Should I
Mhm.
take it as a compliment? Should I think that was in my brain for the longest time. And I always thought that I had a bad voice ever since. That's why I worked on
No way.
it.
No way. Yeah, yeah. You definitely took that the wrong way. I think it's more
Yeah,
of a positive thing more than anything else.
yeah.
Because if you listen to the cast,
Yeah.
like anybody, any cast, right? And if you can like close your eyes and you know who's talking, like that voice is very unique. Like when
Oh,
Butter speaks,
okay.
Mangine, or Chantel,
Yeah.
like Blam, Sagi, like when people
Yeah.
are talking, like you know who's talking,
Yeah.
right? And that's what makes them unique. You should not emulate somebody else. That's all I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. I think so. I think so. That's why what I did there was kind of work on my voice ever since I
Mm,
heard that from that person. And I honestly took it the wrong way.
mhm,
But also in a good thing, I was able to work on my voice more because of that.
mhm.
So that motivated me to do something with my accent, my voice, my anything. And right now I am in a good place ever
Yeah,
since. But
yeah.
how about you? Do you have anything like that?
I mean, somebody told me I had a face for radio,
Face
but
for radio. Face for radio. You took it the wrong way?
yeah, yeah, no, of course. I mean, it is an insult. Let's be honest. You have a face for radio when somebody tells you that. So, I mean, for me, it was kind of like it was more of a joke more than anything else. But yeah, people. I remember when I was working at a bank because I used to run calls and
Yeah.
we used to go through like
A
we
lot
would
of
be
people.
responsible for like 25
Yeah.
countries and we'd be like, okay, now for Zambia. And I would like talk about the projects that are going in. And that's how we would do it. And people would always tell me, but like, hey, you sound like a newscaster, right? Even
Ooh.
when people had
Yeah.
never seen me before.
Yeah.
And this was just on the calls. So like I knew I had a little bit something unique because I sound like a non-Asian dude, let's be very honest.
Yeah, you
I know
don't
where I
sound like an
stand.
Asian. Yeah.
I don't sound like an Asian. So when
Yeah.
people see me, they're kind of more surprised more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear your voice, to be honest, when I close my eyes, I don't see you.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah. Yeah.
honest, to be
He's,
honest.
he's a much better, younger looking dude. I get it. I get
No, no,
it.
no, 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 no. I meant it as a compliment because of how good your voice sounds. I'll be honest with you. It is very good. It is honestly, uh, every time that I hear it, like, wow, this guy sounds really great. I hope I see him in the news sometime soon.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But
But
yeah, it is what it
mhm,
is. Yeah. Go on.
yeah, but I also have one more question though. Now that
Sure.
somebody had like a compliment like that for you, did you
Mm.
were you ever complimented by somebody and you that always stuck?
Ooh, complimented.
Yeah. Like they said,
Actually,
your skill is this, and something like that. Yeah, you're good at
so
this.
good at this. Actually, more towards the last question. I think I had like growing up in college, I had dinner with like another family friend, and the mom told me I had a voice that sounded very nukie, which is in Korean, which is kind of like, um, it's kind of like slick, oily in a way. It's kind of like very smooth. Like I don't
Okay.
know what it is. It could have been, and I took it very negatively. I was
Oh,
like, what
okay.
does that mean, right? And it was kind of like it always stuck with me. But I was like, oh no, it's the way I'm able to project and to kind of do
Yeah,
that. So it was kind of like I took it negatively, but it was actually a compliment
yeah,
at the time. I didn't really realize that, but that was one of those moments.
yeah. But for me, I think
Mm,
what I was asking though is like a
mm.
co-caster, okay,
Oh, okay, okay,
a co-worker that
yeah,
complimented you and it's stuck in a positive way, in a positive way.
in a positive way.
Mm, mm,
Trying to think of like the right moment where I think just people. Okay, actually, again on that back in the bank on those
yeah,
calls,
yeah.
people would tell me that I'm funnier than a comedian that was, like, local or whatever, right? And then
Oh,
they
okay.
actually enjoyed joining the calls because I was on them and I would make some, crass remark or whatever, and it would
Okay.
keep it light, right? Because these things were incredibly boring. We would have calls for like 2 hours of the day, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. And so you need something to kind of like liven things up. And I remember I would always do
Mm.
that. And some people would be like, hey, I appreciate you're putting in the effort, right? Trying to make it
Oh.
fun to kind of push it along. So that actually kind of helped me because, you know what I mean? Like, again, I was kind of an introvert. I never really spoke in front of people. It was, and to have to be hosting calls and things like that, it was something
Yeah.
that was like you new to me.
And
So,
I
well, what
think
about you though?
and I think you brought that here though for casting because
Mm.
you always make things seem fun, especially when when we are casting. But for me, a very veteran caster told me that we were casting Rocket League.
Oh,
Rocket League.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it was my first time casting. It was the first ever time that I casted with a veteran compared to
Okay.
friends that I cast all the time that started casting with me.
Uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
it was the first time that I did that. We casted Rocket League. He was the crazy thing about that experience was he has a notebook. He has a notebook
Uh,
and
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
writing all the comments about me when I was casting because I think that was what was given to him. The task that was given to him was give me something to work with, a constructive criticism about my casting and what I'm doing. And he was doing that, and I'm getting pressured whenever he was writing, whenever we were casting. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but in the end, what stuck to me is what he said because what he said last time, the only problems that he had with me was I was constantly doing this because the chair can
Oh,
do
was
that.
a swivel.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
the chair can do
Yeah.
that. I was constantly doing that, which is something small. But what he told me in the end there was your biggest strength is you listen, is what he said to me. And not
No,
everybody
that's a good thing.
uh could do that. And that's
Mhm.
why he was very I was that stuck to me. And
Yeah, 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 yeah.
honestly, it was something that I always remember right now. And listening has always been something that I do. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
like whenever whenever I have a group of friends, I always am the one who listens and I don't usually share. That's why he told me that that's one of my biggest strengths. And I always remember that guy wherever he is right now. Thank you very much for him. Yeah.
No, but that's actually really good feedback, and that's definitely a skill, right? I,
Yeah.
I think listening is definitely key because you can drive a much better conversation because you've been, like again, been listening, right? You've
Yeah.
been entertained, and you can kind of turn that so that it's very engaging,
Yeah.
right? And I think that is definitely a key one because it's hard.
Yeah.
Let's be very honest. When you're like on for like 12 hours or something like that, you're having long days, and then like the guy might be talking like three, four topics, and you're like,
Yeah.
you might have caught like one or what, you know what I mean? It's hard, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're constantly have to be so focused on not only the game, but what your co-caster is saying, all
Yeah.
of these things. So it's definitely a tough skill and a good one for you.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it is a very good one that I always took to heart. And I always remember that whenever, for example, hard day of casting, I always just
Mhm.
remember that yeah, I think I should listen more like what I was doing before because that is something that is great that I should always keep into the table.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my partner wishes I would listen more or whatever, but she was just like blabbering on. I'm not entirely sure what she was saying, but it was something like that. But obviously, it would help. Who
Yeah, it
knows?
would help. It would help.
But yeah, okay. I think that even going in, I mean, you found your voice, you found your comfort level,
Yeah.
right? And I think that going in, let's talk about future for you, right? Five,
Ooh.
10 years, like where do you see yourself?
Huh. 5 to 10 years. That is a very long time. Maybe for 5 to 10 years, I was kind of thinking that at that point, I already have reached what I want with casting. Honestly, I just uh want to cast an international tournament. Like fly for an international tournament is something
Mm,
that I
mm,
always have dreamed of. And I hope I would be able to take the box by then. And
yeah, yeah,
by 5 to 10 years, married to my wife or something, to my girlfriend or something at that point, and already established a very good business. That's what I'm kind of. That's a very general thing. But the most important thing that I want to talk about is the casting internationally is one of my biggest dreams. But how about you?
To be honest, and I just want to like, obviously, I'm not a fortune teller or anything. I think that Dash, you continue to keep doing what you're doing. You're evolving. I mean, you just hearing the fact that you're willing to put in the work. I think that it's gonna be happening for you sooner rather
I
than
hope.
later, right?
I
So
hope
keep your head
so.
up.
Yeah.
Continue to drive, grind, all that stuff. Like I see the mountain behind you. You have it in the background
Oh
right now.
yeah.
You just
Yeah.
you're much higher than you know what I mean.
This
Like you're
is
very close to the
greener
top.
pastures, brother. This is green.
Yeah, I don't think that you have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
But to answer your question of like 5 to 10 years, like it's something that I've said before. It's I want to raise people up.
Ooh.
I think that we need to build up other casters as well.
Oh yeah.
Whatever I can do to kind of help them achieve their goals. I think that that's something that I've always I will drive for, right?
Mm.
And to put people into positions where they're successful as well, and to be, you know what I mean. That makes me happy. That makes me, that's my level of success, right?
Oh yeah.
And if I can continue what I'm doing for 20 whatever years doing what I do, I would love to do that. But
Yeah.
I know the reality is also there too. So again, whatever I can do to kind of level up the next level, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's very noble of you to to have something like that for the new casters to have somebody that they could that could help them grow also is something that they would need. And we also have to think about that at this point in our careers, right? Especially your career. Or because you
You
were
just
here
call me a
longer
boomer.
than
I get it.
no, because you were here longer than me. That's what I'm
No,
saying
basically
that.
calling me a boomer.
Yeah.
No, but I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. I think we how long has it been? It's almost an hour plus,
Almost
right?
an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I think that this is the perfect cutoff point. We did talk a lot more about casting than I thought
yeah,
we were going
I
to,
thought
but
we're not gonna talk about work, brother.
we didn't talk about Honor of Kings,
Oh, okay,
right?
okay. Sure,
Right?
sure, sure.
Get that word out of my mouth. Boom. It's done. We're done with that. But I think that these episodes are good to kind of will be more well rounded,
Yeah.
right? And people get to know Dash, myself, and moving on. We have plenty of other topics. We want to do more of these like after dark, take two episodes. We'll be coming out with more of these, especially since we're in a bit of a lull right now.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of continue to push on because again, there's a lot of things that are going on outside of Honor of Kings. But any final words before we close out?
All I can say is just look forward to more episodes. I think we can do a lot more of this because we are gonna be talking a lot more about a lot of things. Today, we just talked about our where we started. But after
Yeah.
this, we're gonna talk about more random things.
All right. Okay. Well, that's it for it's going to be Dash, and my name is Hauler. We'll catch you guys next time.